Hello, this is your Algerian teacher and welcome to Grow the Branches channel. Today's video is the second of our series Tenses in English. In the previous video, we have seen how tenses are formed and what is the difference between time, tense and aspect. You can find a link above or in the description box below. The form of the verbs in the simple present tense is very easy and is as follows. There are singular and plural subjects and first person, second and third. I have, we have, you have, he, she, it has, they have. For example, we know the answer. Sarah catches the early train. Most children like ice cream. The negative form. I do not have. Remember, we do not say haven't. We say haven't read that book. It is the present perfect. It is another tense. Do not mix between the simple present and the present perfect tense. I do not have. I do not write, etc. We do not have. You do not have. You do not have. He, she, it does not have. He, she, it has becomes he, she, it does not have. How? We take the S from the verb and put it next to the auxiliary do. She does not have a cat. Note that when we put the S to do, does, we cannot say she does not has. The S should occur only once in does, not twice. They do not have. For example, we do not know the answer. Sarah does not catch the early train. Most children do not like ice cream. The interrogative form. Do I have? Remember, we don't say have I, have you. This form have is for another tense. Have you read that book? The present perfect. The interrogative form of the simple present is do I have, do we have. Do you have? Does he, she, it have? Again, does he, she, it have, and not does he, she, it has. He, she, it has, we take the suffix s and add it to do. Does. Does she have a cat? Do not say, does she has a cat? Or do she have a cat? No, does she have a cat? Examples. Do we know the answer? Does Sarah catch the early train? Do most children like ice cream? You can find a downloadable link to the forms of the simple present tense in the description box below. We use the simple present tense to express the following uses. First, this tense is used to denote fact and truth. When we say fact or truth, it means timeless. They do not refer to the present time. Habitual fact. Dana uses common sense. This sentence means she always uses common sense. It's a habit. How often do you go to the dentist? I go to the dentist every month. With adverbs of frequency, for example, always, usually, sometimes, etc., we generally use the simple present tense. I go running 3 times a week. Universal truth. The sun rises in the east. General truth. English people drink a lot of tea. Scientific truth. Water boils at 100 Celsius. Water freezes at 32 Fahrenheit. 2 and 2 make 4. Internal truth with verbs of thinking, knowing, wishing, etc. I think they are very nice. I know it's here. Facts and truths. It is used for giving instructions, directions or demonstrations. Where is the train station? Turn left at the corner. What number is the house with the green gate? Or nowadays, many recipe demonstrations, especially on TV, say for example, I beat the eggs and sugar and then I add the flour. Instructions, directions or demonstrations. The present simple is often used for description, narration, discussion. My parents live near Dover. Here live is used to describe where my parents live. Description. It is common in commentaries on, for example, football matches. Mahrez shoots the ball, he swerves, aims and scores. Shakespeare writes about what he sees in the human heart. It is also common in stories. So I open the door and I look out into the garden, and what do I see but a man wearing a pink skirt and a policeman's helmet. Good morning, he says. In headlines and captions. The President of Russia meets the President of China. Peace talks fail. Description and narration. The present simple is sometimes used to talk about planned future, particularly after if, after conjunctions of time, and in discussions about programs and timetables. I'll be glad if it rains soon. When you see Jack tomorrow, remember me to him. Here, even if this sentence expresses the future time, we cannot say, when you will see Jack tomorrow, remember me to him. There is a rule that says never use a future tense with when, after, or before. Here we use the simple present tense to express a future time. When you see, not when you will see. When you see Jack tomorrow, remember me to him. Don't use the future after when. Don't write until I tell you. Unless he sends the money before Friday, I shall consult my lawyer. If you go to the party, you will meet Elizabeth. The train arrives at 7:45. Planned future. With state verbs. Verbs of senses, emotions, and mental activity. For example, see, smell, feel, hear, like, believe, contain, belong, want, know, remember, think, weigh, prefer, hate, mean, love, need, see, etc. are generally used in the simple aspect. They are not normally used in the continuous tense. Some of them can be used in the present continuous when they are only active verbs and not when they express feeling or emotions. For example, watch. I'm watching, but I don't see anything unusual. He's enjoying his holiday in the Arctic. He hates tourist places and he doesn't mind the cold. I see what you mean. I think you are right. I feel you shouldn't do that. The meat smells bad. Your coffee tastes wonderful. I hope you are well. Verbs expressing senses, emotions, and mental activity. So, when do we use the simple present tense? For facts or truths? Giving instructions, directions, demonstrations, description, narration, planned future or scheduled timetables, and with state verbs, which means verbs of senses, emotions, and mental activity. The present continuous tense, also called the present progressive. In the affirmative is formed with the verb to be in the simple present tense plus verb in the ing form. There are single and plural subjects and first person, second and third. I am having, we are having, you are having in the plural. He, she, it is having, they are having. For example, I'm reading a play by Shaw. She is crying. They are waiting for the train. The negative form of the present continuous is as follows. I am not having. We are not having. You're not having. You are not having. He, she, it is not having. They are not having. For example, I am not reading a play by Shaw. She is not crying. They are not waiting for the train. In order to ask questions in the present continuous, here is the form. Am I having? Are we having? Are you having? Are you having? Is he, she, it having? Are they having? For example, are you reading a play by Shaw? Why is she crying? For which train are they waiting? You can find the downloadable link to the forms of the simple present tense in the description box below. The present continuous can be used for the following uses. For an action happening now, look at the diagram. I am walking. The action starts in the present time and it still is going and in progress at the moment of speaking. I'm not wearing a coat as it isn't cold. Why are you sitting at my desk? It means now you are sitting. Hurry up, we are all waiting for you. What's the baby doing? He's tearing up a £5 note. Temporary, habit and situation. My sister is living at home for the moment, a temporary situation. Who is making the coffee and posting the letters while he's away? I am playing football this summer. Let's stop here for a moment. We have seen that we use the simple present tense for habitual facts, and we use the present continuous to also express habit. Look at these two sentences. I play football in summer, and I'm playing football this summer. What is the difference? The first sentence is a habitual fact. It doesn't change from one summer to another. Every summer I play football. In the second sentence, however, I am playing football this summer. The action is temporary, momentary. It is the habit of the summer of this year, not that of every year's. So the present continuous expresses temporary habit. Regrettable habit. When we want to say that something happens often and probably unexpectedly, or that is annoying, continuous tense is used with always and adverbs of similar meaning, continually, constantly, etc. She is always crying. This structure is often used to talk about irritating, annoying things that happen frequently. I'm always forgetting people's names. He is continually asking me for money. Alice is an annoying guest. She's constantly complaining that the house is cold. You are continually finding fault with me. In all these examples, the habit is regrettable, annoying, or irritating. For a definite arrangement in the near future. The most usual way of expressing one's immediate plans. I'm meeting Peter tonight. He is taking me to the theatre. It is a personal arrangement. Are you doing anything tomorrow afternoon? Yes, I'm playing tennis with Anne. Tom is playing tennis on Monday. Tom is going to London by train tomorrow. All these sentences express personal arrangement. When we use the present continuous for planned future, know that the time of the action must be mentioned. Otherwise, there might be confusion between present and future meanings. So, we use the present continuous to express an action happening now, a temporary habit or situation, a regrettable habit, or a definite and personal arrangement in the near future. Before ending this video, there is another important point that we need to see. Let's compare for more practice when we use the simple present and when we use the present continuous. Please look at the following sentences carefully and tell the difference. What do you do? I am a student. Here, in the two sentences, the verbs are in the simple present tense. What are you doing? I am writing a letter. Both verbs are in the present continuous. In the two questions, what do you do? The verb do is in the simple present tense. And what are you doing? The verb do is in the present continuous. Also, the answer to the first question is in the simple present, and that of the second question, the verb write, is in the present continuous. Now, what is the difference between the first and the second? Why did I use the simple present tense in the first two sentences and the present continuous in the second? The answer is very easy. The first is a question about the person's occupation or profession. The question is about a fact in general and in life. But the second one, the question is not about a fact, but about what the person is doing now at the time of speaking. I am writing a letter. This is not a fact in general life. It is an action taking place at the present time. It is temporary. Here are other examples. We start work at 9 o'clock, but this week we are starting at 8:30. We start work at 9 o'clock expresses usual permanent arrangement, habitual fact. The verb start is at the simple present tense. Are certain, however, expresses temporary arrangement only at present. She plays tennis. She is playing tennis. What is the difference? In she plays tennis, we express a general fact. Tennis is her hobby in life. It doesn't mean that now she is playing. But if you want to express that she is doing the action now at the moment of speaking, then say she is playing tennis. She plays tennis, a fact in general. She is playing tennis, action taking place now, the present time. My brother is living at home for the moment. He lives in North London, doesn't he? What is the difference? In my brother is living at home for the moment, the action is only now for the present moment. He lives in North London, doesn't he? Here, he normally lives in North London, but now he is living at home. Temporary. Where does Henry work? Where is he working? In where does Henry work, we ask about his permanent job, his profession. Where is he working? We ask about his temporary job. Just for now. Let's practice. Choose between the simple form and the continuous form to complete these sentences. I think, I'm thinking I'm a genius, but my dad just thinks I'm crazy. The answer? Think. We use the simple aspect and here it is the simple present because it is a verb of mental activity. I'm saying here because I'm expecting a parcel. I'm expecting because it expresses an action happening now at the present time and at the moment of speaking. What are you doing? I prepare. I'm preparing this chocolate cake. The answer? I'm preparing. Also, like the previous sentence, the question asks about an action taking place now at present. If the question was, what do you do? Then we would answer, I am a cook or I am a chef. The question, what do you do? Asks about profession in life, not a temporary activity like the following sentence. What do postmen do? They are delivering letters. Deliver. Why? Here we express a fact about postmen in general. We are not speaking about an action happening just now. He is being a doctor, but today is playing football. He is a doctor. He is playing football. Why do we say he is a doctor? It is simply because 1. The verb to be is a state verb and 2. We are stating his profession in life and not his present activity. But for the second verb, is playing, expresses an activity taking place now at the time of speaking. So, he is a doctor in general, but now he is playing football. We have come to the end of this video, and I hope you can make the difference between the simple present and the present continuous tense. Thank you for watching.